And we're back. I told y'all guys I was going to do a roster prediction video based off how the response was for that last Naruto FighterZ video, and you guys seem to love that video. I got so much support on the video and Twitter, and so you guys know I had to continue this video series and provide y'all with my prediction / wish list for the base roster. The decision of picking these characters are based on how influential they were in the Naruto series. For 2, what characters should we save for future DLC, and 3, characters that I just personally like. But anyways, I'm not going to keep you guys long. We're going to get ahead and go through all of these characters that I hope and predict that will be a part of the Naruto FighterZ roster. So let's get into it. First thing to start off this roster, we're going to get ahead and cover all the Naruto and Sasuke's I think that are going to be at base upon release. And these are the Boruto versions of Naruto and Sasuke and the War Arc versions. These two are the most influential versions of these characters, and they resemble the same thing as how Blue Vegeta and Goku and Super Saiyan Vegeta and Goku are in FighterZ. Those are two of their most iconic forms a part of the series, and so having Boruto and War Arc would make perfect sense for the base rosters. Next we have Sakura. It really doesn't matter what form of Sakura they put in, but I feel as if they're going to do Boruto versions for Sakura, I don't think it's necessary to add a War Arc version of herself, just because it's really no big difference between the two compared to how there's a huge difference between Naruto and Sasuke. So just including her Boruto version would make a lot of sense. Next we have Sai. We've seen Sai in action a lot in Shippuden, but not too much in Boruto, so it really doesn't matter which version of him they add, but Sai should be added to the roster just because ever since Sasuke left, he was a core piece of Team 7, so not including him would be a crime. Also, he would fit the Zona hybrid type of character that we would expect in a fighting game, and his jutsu is very unique to the point that he does deserve a character roster as well. Also covering Team 7, we're going to add them. We got to add in Kakashi. Now you guys are probably thinking DMS Kakashi instantly. No, this is going to be pre-DMS Kakashi compared to the one that he was fighting against Payne during the war. This Kakashi is the most well-known Kakashi in most of the Naruto games, but DMS Kakashi will be talked about in a future video. So this is pre-DMS Kakashi again, and I feel as if this is still a strong Kakashi and is worth talking about and putting him in the game as a roster selection. Next we have Shikamaru. Now with Shikamaru, I feel as if he should represent Ino Shikacho. So Choji and Ino should work with him a part of his moveset, just because I feel as if Ino and Choji are two characters that really don't deserve a roster slot over some of these other characters I'm going to be having on this list, just because their moveset and how they will play wouldn't be as appealing to some of these other characters in my opinion. So adding these to a part of Shikamaru would make perfect sense. Also, the whole Ino Shikacho thing has always been a part of their character roles inside the series, because they are the most iconic cell known in the Leaf Village. So them being a part of Shikamaru moveset and them working together as one character makes a lot of sense, similar how the Ginyu Force works and Android 18 and Android 17 works in Dragon Ball FighterZ. Next we have Boruto, Sarada, and Mitsuki. We have to have Boruto representation because we are done with Naruto and we are beginning to do a full transition into Boruto now, so having the Boruto representation is really needed in these upcoming Naruto games. Most likely this game will be considered a Naruto to Boruto FighterZ, so these three definitely have to be a part of the game. They are really good characters when it comes to the Boruto franchise. They have shown off a lot, so they can still do a lot with these characters. Also, they've already represented these characters in Storm and Shinobi Striker, so I'm pretty sure they will definitely add them into FighterZ. Next, we have two of the most iconic Akatsuki members in the Naruto series. These are the first ones we were ever introduced to, and that is Itachi and Kisame. We all know Itachi is one of the dopest and probably considered the best Uchiha in the series, and so it's no brainer that we have to add him into the game. Next, Kisame. Kisame is a very iconic character, and he's Itachi's partner for a reason. He is no slouch. He has had some of the greatest fights in the series against Might Guy. He's fought Ozma early on. He fought against Killer Bee and Raikage and did his thing there too. Even though he got off, he still did a pretty good job. And Semihata, one of the most iconic 7 ninja swordsman weapons, we definitely have to add Kisame in because he's the no-tail Jinchuriki. Like, how dope is that? If you're given such a strong name like that, you deserve to have a roster spot in a fighting game. Next we have Neji and Hinata. These are our two Hyuga representations, and these are the best Hyuga members that you can ever add into a FighterZ. These guys are always added into whatever Naruto game we have, except for Shinobi Striker. They cheated Neji, but Neji and Hinata deserve roster spots. The differentiation between how they use the Gentle Fist style deserves for them to be two separate characters, and how iconic they are within the series, and so many people love these characters. They definitely deserve their own roster spot. Next we have two characters that have the most iconic fight, or one of the most iconic fights in the Naruto franchise, and that is Rock Lee and Gaara. Rock Lee, the elite taijutsu specialist right behind my guy. He is a beloved character in the series, and he definitely deserves his roster spot, especially since I decided to not put my guy on the base roster because I feel as if he is worth being future DLC, which we will talk about again in another video. Gaara, the Kaze Kage, the one-tailed Jinchuriki early on in the series and in the beginning of Shippuden. We all know and love Gaara. He deserves to have his own spot. He has his jutsu, his style of jutsu is very unique, and nobody else in the series uses it other than his father, and so he definitely deserves his roster spot. Now, I don't know if they should do his Boruto version or his Shippuden version. We've seen his Shippuden version more in action, and if they do his Shippuden version, I feel as if they should do early on Shippuden when he still has Shikaku, just because we didn't see too much training from Gaara within the series ever since Shikaku was taken from him. So the moves that he did showed off later on during the war arc, we don't know if he didn't already know those jutsus already, or if he didn't. And so, since there really is no proof within the series to prove that he didn't know those things early on, they can definitely still add in Shikaku with his playstyle, and it would still technically be canon, just because there is no 100% proof that he didn't know some of the skills that he showed off during the war. Next, we have two of my favorite characters a part of the series, but we're going to start off with the first one, Deidara. Deidara is probably the most unique Akatsuki member and is really strong. He almost took out Sasuke, and people really do sleep on that. Deidara's jutsu style again is unique, just like Gaara. He's taken out Gaara, and he deserves his respect. He will fill that zoner category as well, like how I mentioned Sai earlier. So adding Deidara and his unique explosive jutsu, I feel as if it would be great, and I would love to add him to the game, just because I would definitely play him. And the art of explosion, explode him into the roster. I'm corny for that, I'm sorry. Then next we have my favorite character in the entire series, Killer Bee. The second strongest Jinchuriki. Without Killer Bee, Naruto wouldn't be where he is now. The one who mopped Sasuke and put that man on life support. He deserves his roster spot. Give it to him. There's no if, and, or buts about that. Add my boy in. Of course, we're going to go with the Shippuden version, just because his Boruto version, they did him dirty. Shippuden Killer Bee. Let's go. Next, we're going to add my favorite villain in the entire series, Payne, and we're going to add him with the 6 paths of Payne. Early on, when first introduced to Payne, him and the 6 paths fought together when they first encountered Jiraiya, when they fought against Naruto. Payne, also being accompanied by the other 6 paths, will for one add a unique move set, just like how Ino Shikacho is, and will also be canonically correct. So Payne with the 6 paths is a great roster pick, and I feel as if everybody would definitely enjoy having Payne a part of the roster. Next, we have Kkona. Kkona is a part of the Akatsuki and is well known with being with Payne, but she does not work directly with them. Kkona has shown off some elite skills, and with her paper style ninjutsu, she definitely deserves her own roster spot, fighting against Obito. Kkona is a very elite Akatsuki member and ninja, so adding her to the roster is a very good choice, and she will again fit that zoner category, which zoners, we don't have a lot of representation in fighting games. There's always a limited number of them, and so we need to fill that minimum number as much as possible, and so far I think I've only covered about 3 zoners in the game. Next, we have Kabuto. Now, Kabuto was a tough decision because I actually decided to put Kabuto in base roster over Orochimaru. Now, hold up. You guys are probably think I'm wildin', but Orochimaru, I feel as if will be worth more as DLC, and I will state my opinions for that in another video. So with Kabuto, we're going to give him Sage Mode Kabuto, which is the strongest version of himself because he fought against Edo Tensei, Itachi, and Sasuke. and so adding this former Kabuto will be a very great decision. He at this peak of him, he was probably almost just as strong as Orochimaru, or even stronger, just because he's mastered Sage Mode. He knew a lot of forbidden jutsu similar to Orochimaru, and Kabuto was no slacker, and he was very intelligent. Adding him to this roster, I feel as if he is a very worthy character. He did his best in Shippuden, and he showed off pretty well. Next, we have 3 characters that you guys are probably going to say, what? You added these over blah 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 characters? Yes, I did, because some of the most impactful characters in the series, you guys gotta understand that they need to sell DLC. And so some of these characters that I did not put a part of base roster, some of the most iconic characters you guys are probably thinking of that aren't going to be added to this base roster, is because they're going to be added as DLC. I promise you, these characters will be discussed in a later video, but understand when I say this, if they are super popular, they will be added as DLC. And so for a part of these next 3 characters, we have Kiba, Shino, and Kankuro. Now you guys are probably wondering, Kiba and Shino and Kankuro, these guys are barely ever showed or talked about in the series, and I know that, but their fighting style is so unique and dope to me that they deserve their own roster slot. Kiba, him and Akamaru, the tunneling fang combination, these are the straight up rush down characters. Having those two together as in a fighter's format, I promise you, Kiba could probably end up being the Yamcha of fighters. Yamcha was considered one of the weakest fighters in the shows, but Yamcha is one of the best characters in fighters. Kiba could be mixed up crazy with Akamaru. Just give Kiba a chance, his fighting style will be dope. Shino, I've always thought the insect's ability and his intelligence was never completely shown off in the series, and I feel as if the insect technique is just really dope. So by giving him the chance to be shown off in a fighting game, I feel as if he is very deserving. Even in the other games that they have added him into, they never truly flushed him out. I feel as if Arc System would do a good job of flushing him out when it comes to a fighters, and it seems like they actually enjoy working on these underrated characters because they get to show off so many cool things with them that people never expected before. Shino, yes, he isn't a popular pick, but with his archetype and his style of playing his jutsu, he is a good position to be on this roster. And then we have Kankuro. Kankuro's main reason for him being added is Puppet Master. The only time they ever showcase Puppet Master characters has only been in Storm so far. Storm in the Ultimate Ninja series. Adding this type of archetype is going to be kind of different and a little difficult to do, just because you have to separate the puppet and the character from each other, and they have to have 2 different hitboxes. They can't be one and the same, in my opinion. So I would like to see how Arc System will work with this character. And accompanying Kankuro, I feel as if that he should have Sorcery with him, because we all know after Sorcery was killed off against Granny Chiyo and Sakura, Kankuro actually took Sorcery's body and made it his own puppet. And so I'm pretty sure a lot of people was thinking that maybe Sorcery would be the puppet master I would have decided to put into the base roster, but I think the better choice is Kankuro, just because for one, he has so many other dope puppets and iconic puppets within the series before Sorcery was introduced, and having Sorcery accompany with him would be a better choice in my opinion. Now Sorcery could still be a dope decision if they added him in instead of Kankuro. I would like that as well, but for my roster, I pick Kankuro. And that's my base roster. Let me know how you guys think. This is probably pretty different from what you guys were expecting, but again, this was my decision. I feel as if these characters all deserve to be within the game, and they will bring and carry their own weight within the series. I'm not saying they're gonna be top tier or anything, but I feel as if how Arc System works, it handles fighters, all of these characters will be somewhat playable and viable within the game. I hope you guys did enjoy this. We will be having a DLC video covering potential DLC seasons / packs that could be added into if we ever got a Naruto FighterZ, which is where some of these iconic characters that are missing from this base roster will be included. So if you guys want to see that, please like up this video. Let me know how you guys feel about this, if you guys are still looking forward to a Naruto FighterZ. And also, if you guys want to hear my opinions on any other potential Naruto games we want to see in the future. I'm just very deprived of Naruto right now. Went back to Shinobi Striker, so you guys will probably see another video about that in the future. I hope you guys did enjoy. Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.